Good morning. So Broadway Bridges is a program developed by the Broadway League in partnership with New York City Department of Education. Its goal is to bring every 10th grade student in a New York City public high school to a Broadway show for $10. The League is working to cultivate the next generation of theatergoers and professionals. So please join me in another round of applause for Jesse J.P. Johnson, alias SpongeBob, and the Broadway League. So welcome to EdTech Week, where basically we meet on the corner of Broadway and EdTech. I'm Jonathan Harber, and I am co-founder of StartEd. Together with NYU Steinert, we're working to develop an army of EdTech entrepreneurs to solve the world's greatest problems. So you may be asking, what is EdTech? Funny you should ask. Since the internet and digital media have become pervasive over the last 2 decades, technology has been transforming not just the way that we live, but also the way that we learn. Globally, we spend over $6 trillion every year in formal learning, early childhood programs, K-12, higher education, and corporate training. But today, we live in a world where cars are driving themselves. And I'm pretty sure when I leave home that Alexa and Siri are talking to each other. So it should be no surprise that technologies for learning are reaching far beyond what we call formal learning. New sectors that we never considered as education are being transformed through digital learning and technologies. How do patients learn to take their medications properly? How do firefighters learn to fight fires? How do millennials learn to manage money? How do companies learn to keep safe? We'll hear about these and many more. EdTech is not just about digitizing crayons and textbooks. Learning technologies are becoming pervasive in all aspects of our lives and work. Any task that might require instructions is now an opportunity for digital instruction. Over 2 billion people now carry smartphones with them. Essentially, we have with us a personal library, university, and tutor wherever we go. So learning scientists today and education technologists are tackling problems and creating solutions far, far from the classroom. After all, now on your phone you can learn filmmaking from Ron Howard, cooking from Gordon Ramsay, and jazz from Herbie Hancock. Yet at the same time, research continues to show that nothing can replace the inspiration and guidance of a great teacher or the richness of a learning community. And the inequities in formal education that have plagued our country for so long, unfortunately, still persist. So over the next 2 days at New York EdTech Week, we'll discuss issues around access, affordability, and achievement. We'll see how pedagogical models are evolving and how business models are exploding. We'll hear how New York City is taking the lead in EdTech and how our world can be enriched by education innovation and innovators like you. So a couple of facts and directions on how the next 2 days of the festival will work. First, to give you a little background on yourselves, you are a global and diverse group. We have guests from 15 countries. We have educators, entrepreneurs, startups, public companies, policymakers. We have superintendents, deans, chief learning officers, school administrators, angel investors, VCs, PE funds, and investment bankers, media professionals, researchers, teachers, professors, and students. And this year, for the first time, we also have a sponge. So loosely speaking, we arranged the festival into think tanks today and shark tanks tomorrow. Today we'll be here in Skirball, which is this theater, until noon for the show. And you're in for a treat. You're going to hear from luminaries about the challenges of educating our people, all the way from logistics to legislation. And we've got more great musical performances this morning by Flocabulary, and then Aladdin himself, Broadway star Tully Leung. This afternoon's think tanks will be upstairs next door at Kimmel. You walk out around the front. And experts will guide you there in debating the most pressing obstacles and challenges and innovations in education: efficacy, games, AI, adult learning, corporate learning, exporting education. And each session will be moderated by a media editor. This year we have Education Week, CLO Magazine, The Economist, Children's Technology Review, Inside Higher Ed, Training Magazine, PDK, and the Chronicle of Higher Ed, who have joining us. And by the way, they've all been instructed to put the audience to work, so don't expect to be passive viewers in the think tanks. Also this afternoon, we have the option of 2 open labs, student success and the future of work. Tomorrow, more open labs, blockchain for education, next-gen learning with virtual reality, creating and computing in K-5 education, frameworks for reading practice, and off-site, not here, at the New York Academy of Science, we have the future of research, and at Grand Central Tech, we have open education resources. These are registration only, as are master classes. The master classes are tomorrow, and the master classes are from some of the coolest professors. You can learn about emotional design, analysis and evidence-centered design, learning experience design, teacher social intelligence, exploring global education. And again, if you're interested, use your app. You must register, and space is limited. Tonight, after the think tanks, at 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock, we have a reception, which is hosted by our partner, Strada Education Network. That will be upstairs in the beautiful Rosenthal Pavilion on the top floor of Kimmel. And we'll talk more later about tomorrow, but generally speaking, the Shark Tanks, you're going to hear pitches from EdTech companies from around the world. This includes NYU's EdTech Accelerator, the cohort from 2017, as well as investor presentations from later stage companies and commentary from some of the leading investors in education. Make sure you keep your badges today for tomorrow, and if you didn't get a badge, they can be printed during the lunch break. Another special thanks to some of our partners, Wiley Education, helping people and organizations develop the skills and knowledge they need to succeed, and Strada Education Network, improving the college to career pathway. So are you ready? All right, me too. Over the next 2 days, between our started talks, think tanks, Shark Tanks, open labs, master classes, the Gallery of Innovation, we hope you will enjoy this festival and be part of the army of EdTech innovators, improving how people teach and learn around the world. Welcome to New York EdTech Week. Thank you. Now, I'd like to introduce Ted Magder, Vice Dean for Academic Affairs at NYU Steiner. We're so honored to have Ted with us today. Ted oversees the academic life cycle at NYU Steiner here in New York City, as well as academics at the NYU global campuses, including China, Europe, and the Middle East. He's also responsible for online and technology-enhanced programs. He's been honored with teaching awards from NYU and from York University in Toronto. Ted and NYU Steiner have been great partners in the NYU EdTech Incubator, the NYU EdTech Accelerator, and of course, New York EdTech Week. I'm so thankful to be able to work with him, so please join me in a warm welcome for Dean Ted Magder.